All right. So the other one was really confusing. Um, all right. So the other video, I went over the structure of the drill, and I thought the drawing was a little bit muddy. So I want to go over the progression of the drill, the way that each of the players moves post shot and scrum in front of the net. When the whistle blows again to stop the drill, I want to show where everybody goes, okay? And I want to stress this again, that the confusion is by design. Of course, this is a confusing drill. I want it to be confusing. It's designed with the military concept of stress inoculation training. Put them under stress, make them accomplish tasks while they are stressed. In this case, the stress is execution, and the stress is the timing of it, because the goal is to get all the timing right so that we can make a play. And if it bogs down and the play doesn't work, the players need to know how to adapt. And then they need to be able to make those decisions and know where to go next. Okay? So, the first player we'll talk about is the gauntlet player, the player running the gauntlet. Okay? So, player running the gauntlet, and I'm not going to draw the scrum in front of the net. I'm just going to imagine that we did it and we just, where would they go? And we can skate them through the progression one time also, make it easier on them, okay? He's going to skate through, he's going to curl around, he's going to come up, and he's going to assume the position of the last player in line, or the first player in line, I guess you'd say, on the first pad, okay? Now, as you can probably see from the little bit of the black lines, the drawings, that and it's fairly obvious, these players are going to shift down. One. Okay? And so then the next player I'll talk about is the player on the end of the last pad. Okay? He's going to come out and he's going to assume the position of the man in the slot, the defender in the slot. Okay? The defender in the slot is going to slide down to the corner. The corner is going to come up to the point, which again, remember when they start the drill is actually going to be back here. And I'll go over the routing on that in a bit. And then this point man is going to come over to this point, and then this point man is going to assume the role of the first harasser, the first player that's going to be up here, and then this player is going to jump up and be the next guy through the gauntlet. Okay? Fairly simple, but also a little confusing because we remember when the drill is concluded, it's this guy and this guy versus all four of those guys. Okay? So, and they're going to be all mucking about in here, and they're going to have to discern, where do I go now? And then most importantly, what do I do with my stick? Because this guy, this guy, this guy, and this guy are all going to have their sticks. But we start the drill with no sticks. The guy through the gauntlet doesn't have a stick, doesn't need to go pick one up because he's going onto a pad. Okay? The guy who is in front of the net doesn't have a stick, so he can just go to the corner without his stick. No problem. Those two are fairly easy. But the player, the first harasser, remember we talked about, he's going down to get his stick. Then he's skating all the way around and coming back in here. Okay? So now he's got to go where the scrum has occurred. Everybody's scrumming in there. He's got his stick. The whistle blows. He's done. Let's say he's right here. He has to go here and drop his stick and come all the way back to get in line to go down through the gauntlet. Okay? These and so we talk about conditioning, we talk about skating. This is what it's going to look like. They're going to be resting, right? They're going to be resting with the pads over their arms, over their heads. That's their resting state. It's a different kind of rest, but that's their resting, okay? So we talked about that guy. That guy's got a lot of skating to do, okay? Because if we just draw his route out, he's going to go like this. he's going to come, he's going to harass, he's going to go get his stick, he's going to come all the way up, he's going to come all the way around, and we're going to not draw the scrum. He's going to go scrum around, but we won't draw it. He's going to drop his stick, come all the way back, and then assume the role of the gauntlet. If we're doing it without a whole lot of rest, he's then going to go through the gauntlet, come around, and play defense. Then he's going to finish up on his defenseman. He's going to have to come back and put his arms above his head. Okay? So, this player is going to do the same thing, except we got to think about the fact that I didn't draw it on here, but these players are starting down here. Okay, they're starting way down on the other side is where we started them. Okay, so this player here, again, I'm not going to, they're mucking about here, bang, 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 whistle goes. He's got to skate to the corner, drop his stick, skate all the way down here. Whistle blows, the new harasser goes and starts to harass the guys through the gauntlet. He needs to skate all the way down here, pick up his stick, back up, and be in position to get the D to D pass, or to get the low to high pass to go D to D. Okay, once he finishes all that, I'll clear that out of there, right? What's he going to have to do next? He's going to have to finish up here. Let's say he stayed on the point. Okay, let's say the shot and he never went in. Okay, he's going to have to go skate down here, drop his stick. Now he's assuming this position. He's going to have to come all the way back to here to then turn around and skate all the way back to here to then turn around and skate all the way back to here. Okay? Then the play finishes. That next play finishes. He's got to skate all the way down to here, drop his stick, and come up here and be the first harasser. Okay? So really the player who has it the easiest in this progression is the player who is coming off of here, goes to here. Because he doesn't have to drop a stick because he never had one. Because he doesn't have one coming from the front of the net. Okay? And then the next easiest is basically the guys that are just passing the pads around. Now, we can make that as difficult as we want. We can do all kinds of things, right? We can have them switch it over to one hand and hold it up with one hand. We can have them switch sides. We can say that when they go to pass the pads, they can't have they have to have 9 or 18 hands on the pads at all times. They can't ever let one guy and let 2 people hold it. Right? Let one guy off. So they have to make the pass off. How are they going to do that? How are they going to navigate that? Okay? This is, again, the stress inoculation. This is the teamwork. This is the communication. I said to them last night, they were getting just kind of mushy with the thing, and they would all just smush into them, and that was fine. But what I really wanted them to do, ultimately, is to get a synchronized 1, 2, 3 step, bang, step back. 1, 2, 3 step, bang, step back, right? And I want them to get used to communication. I want them to get used to moving as a team, kind of like an offensive line would, right? All together, every ready, 1, 2, 3, step. So we're doing it as a unit, okay? So again, we'll just go through it one more time. Gauntlet player is going to assume the role here. He's going to go around, come up here, okay? The first harasser is going to go and become the gauntlet player, okay? This point man is going to go to become the first harasser. This point man is going to be the other point man. The guy in the corner is going to become the first point man. The guy at the end of the guy in front of the net is going to go and be the guy in the corner. The guy at the end is going to come and be the first man, or the high slot man. Okay?